What's going on, y'all? How's it going? Welcome to our Thursday Bookmap stream, 1 p.m. And this market is crazy. Had a crazy morning, at least the first 10 minutes of the day. And since it's been a little bit off-putting. Very slow. Very slow. Overall, we have a couple of mixed signals on the tape. I am not really interested in taking trades at the moment because this is back and forth. We got 52.27 and 52.30 liquidity up top on ES, which is very robust price action. On NASDAQ, we've got a little bit lower, down at 225. All that to say, the options chain positioning is back and forth in a relative range, not much going on. And we're just not moving. Got some people. Got to do my part, right? Got to do my part. So yeah, honestly, I don't know how my brokerage is open. I've actually X'd out of all my prop firms and, you know, just chilling. I do still have my runner puts from this morning. They're currently up 149%, but they're literally just a couple of runners. Nothing crazy. I've already closed out a vast majority of the position for 210. Other than that, man, I've just been back and forth, catching up on some stuff, seeing if we have any kind of crazy or changing liquidity flows. Overall, no, we haven't. It's very light day. It does appear that the buyers are finally starting to run out of steam on the macro. We'll see if that actually is the case, though. Waiting for volume and waiting for price action, honestly. Took any shorts? Yeah, we took puts this morning, and I got 210% on them. But I have not taken another trade since. It's been very weak price action. Got a question here in the Bookmap. I'm new to setups on Bookmap. Any chance you could direct me to a piece that would help me set up my chart like you have it? Yes. If you are on the YouTube stream, I don't know if you are a V1 trader, but I do have a YouTube video on how to set up my YouTube or my Bookmap, and I'll get that for you. I'll post it in the Bookmap channel. How to use Bookmap. Boom. There you go. I'll also post it in the YouTube chat. Considering this is the Bookmap stream. There you go. I'll try not to bore you back and forth with bottom wicks and top wicks, but really all I'm trying to do today is identify the afternoon target. What can I do? What tools can I utilize to identify the afternoon target? I could care less about the little 10-point back and forths here on NASDAQ. It's terrible. Right now, overall, we're at the target. Currently, 5150. The next target down would be 5100. Obviously, that would be a phenomenally large move. Most likely, if something like that were to happen, it would be in the last hour to hour and a half of the day. I would not expect that kind of move at the moment. But 5150 on SPX is the current target, which is why we're pinning here. We're still holding just above the morning low. Puts are doing okay, but that's it. Let's zoom out here. CVD is still barely green. I have removed March contracts off of Bookmap. All the liquidity shifted off of them a couple of days ago, and I'm on June contracts. You see, we have 5187, 5150, and 5225 as the main levels. We also, if you were to zoom on down, we have 4925, and that appears to be it to the downside. Still dropping very slowly. Is this a buy the dip, sell the top kind of day? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Hanging on by a thread. Yeah, buddy. NVIDIA, the golden child NVIDIA, is now down 3.8%. We'll see what they can do with that. Let's take a look. Even oil, even the Dow, nothing's moving. Absolutely nothing's moving right now. Oil's moving. There you go. There's something. Been on a nice uptrend today. A lot of volatility in oil today, which is CL. They finally took out the upper 70 range to come back into the 80s. Is this time to short oil, or are we going to rock it? Demand has not started to come off of oil, and they are now testing the pivot. The main pivot on oil up here is 80.80, give or take, and it is now starting to eat into that, which at what point we could start looking finally to the upper 80s after many months and many weeks of chopping. Let's see. About $4 million worth of outside the money, above the ask puts were purchased on Tesla. Interesting. Is Tesla going to continue to fall? Zero DTE options hit a record high 61% of totals on Wednesday. So out of all the options chains, 61% of all the activity is zero DTE. The market is a casino. Yep, I'm live on Discord. Yep, I am live on Discord. Actually, I need to share my screen. That's a good point. Thank you. Bam, bam, bam. We are live. CEO's going us nice there. Daily chart on NASDAQ, if I had to guess, if I had to put a line on it, I'm going to draw a line at approximately 18,170. That's the line of which the buyers cannot let break, 18,170. Otherwise, we're going to start having our retracement. ES, I'd put in the ballpark of about 5160. Would be the last line of defense. The last line of defense here. All right. What about SPY? Let's take a look. SPY right now is still 513. Last line of defense for them is approximately 510 and a half, approximately. If I had to guess, they're going to wait until March 16th because March 15th will be the expiration of my puts, and March 16th will actually be the reddest day in years. Did you know in 2023 India accounted for over 70% of options trading? I did not know that. Very cool. They also account for 70% of deliciousness with cuisine. I love Indian food. Well, there's not much going on. So if y'all want to talk about something, we can. Liquidity is very light. Volume is very light. Price action is terrible. And Apple just had some weird anomaly candle in volume. Do y'all see that on Apple? That's weird. Interesting. Why would Apple do that all of a sudden? Apple. See this? Second highest volume candle of the day. Big red and green. Keep an eye on them. What's the flow doing? Let's take a look at Apple's flow. Apple. Sweep. 2 minutes ago. That's odd. Yeah, it does. It does look dumpy looking. It's weird. Need OM to run me to walk away. Go ahead and walk away. I'd encourage you all. My number one financial advice today is to shut everything down and go outside, especially if you're in the southeast right now of Alaska. It is very, very warm. Go enjoy the springtime weather. Terrible price action. I'm gonna take your advice. See y'all tomorrow. There you go. Yeah, definitely. I think if we have anything, it's gonna be obviously the last 60 to 90 minutes of the day, and then if not, definitely obviously tomorrow. Tomorrow's OPEX should have something going on. Usually, I would say usually, but a lot of the time the OPEX is the OPEX move is the day before, which would be today. But I don't know if I would really constitute this morning's action as the big OPEX move, although that was nice. I would love to see some follow-through trend without any reversals. I'm done for the day, but I'm stuck watching the charts anyway. There you go. There you go. I'm going to post this here to shame myself publicly. I told myself I would not enter another trade after the fantastic move this morning. And then I got greedy and entered a trade. Now I'm holding a minus 43% put. Well, just make sure you learn. Very boring stuff. What's OPEX? OPEX is options expiration. It's the monthly options expiration that culminates all the exposure on that particular strike, and that is tomorrow. Typically, it's always mid-month-ish. So tomorrow would be roughly mid-month. Do you think it's wise to lay off long swings in FOMC or even after FOMC? I do. I mean, look at the daily chart now, right now. That's what's terrible. Yesterday, we talked about that I am hitting the pause button on all major position sizing until we are out of this crap right here. This is awful, awful, awful price action. This is probably the most disgusting chart on the daily chart I've seen since coronavirus kicked off. It's terrible. NASDAQ is even worse. We're at the same exact price we were at the beginning of February. I mean, it's nasty. Every drop is bought, every sell off, every buy up is sold, and we're just right back to the status quo here. And the exact price February 9th, but if you go back even a little bit, January 24th, we're talking going on, 2 months now of just pinned flat sideways. So I would not be taking a trade until we finally get out of this range here, in my opinion. Because I've got faked out myself. We had a lot of signs that look like selling climax right here. We see the big volume here, the big volume here. We see the big volume here. So we had signs of selling climax, but the buyers held it up. So for me, I'm going to wait until I see obvious signs, because when we do sell, there'll be plenty of time to get in. Plenty of time. So for me, that's what I'm looking for. Now, if I were to take a swing trade, to me, I'm still looking for downside because I think this is distribution. My thesis is that this is distribution. Shake out of the tree. And you can see it through the volume. You don't get this type of institutional selling unless we're nearing at least a short-term top. So I think personally that we are nearing a top in the next couple of weeks, and I'll be putting on positions commensurate with that. Speaking of puts, this thing's dropping nicely now. Finally got a little Momo. I think Apple kind of got a little juice there. Almost new low of the day for ES here. No, that is a new low of the day for ES. Coming off. When you refer to flow, is that dollars? Flow is the order flow. Order flow. Hey, puts are back up again. Sweet. The order flow on the market, which is primarily why we track Bookmap. Big drop in CVD right there, 11,000. Nasdaq's here. We had another iceberg right here. Did not execute yet. The weather's beautiful in Nashville outside enjoying your stream. Nice, Jerry. Very cool. Nice red candles here. Let's see. What can we do? Puts are doing well. I'm back up to 200% on my running puts. And yeah, I'm not really interested in adding anything unless I see some volume. I don't want to get caught up in the bounce short in the bottom. What was your line in the sand for NASDAQ? My current line in the sand for NASDAQ overall is much closer than ES. Right now it's about 18,170, which is it's imminent. ES has got a little bit more room. It's because XLF. The banks were very strong, and it brought ES a lot more bullish than NASDAQ. $52.02. Still holding the morning low. Right off of it. What's up, Steven? How you doing, buddy? Right now, 11,000 CVD still piling on 52.30, but overall, CVD is still being controlled. You see this dump down here. This is how I utilize the subchart indicator with the CVD a lot better. Is that, yeah, the CVD widget works great, but I get much better use out of the subchart, which tells me the actual flow or outflow of CVD. You see they start to dip down here and then a really big drop. Nice little channel. Well done, Kennedy. And just for other people to read, Mike, I'll say 18,170. There you go. When watching a group of stocks for market awareness, are you looking for them to move the same amount rather than moving completely different? Yeah, so today's a great example of a little bit of market awareness because everything was aggressively green, but NVIDIA was getting smoked, which is a little weird. Like Apple was up squeezing, Microsoft was up big time. So it was causing a little bit of choppiness in the markets. And then finally we had tech start to sell and join NVIDIA, and we came on back down. So for me, I want correlation. The strongest trades is correlation. If I could get everything I'm looking at to correlate, that's the strongest indicator for me to utilize. Because if the market awareness signal is strong enough, I'll take a position just on that alone, not even anything else. If I see Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, XLF, if I see all these names start to rocket and the indexes haven't quite caught up yet, then I'm going to go ahead and start buying into long, or at least dipping my toes into a long position. And then, of course, everything is not correlating. Then it tells me we might have a choppy session, which is kind of what we're doing here. It gives me indications on when to go big, when to go small, when not to trade, when to trade. And then we can bring in other stuff like the VIX, the other X sectors of the S&P, which right now, by the way, VIX is rocketing and holding upwards into 8% day. But it's like a conductor. I'm going to let the market kind of tell me what's going on here, which is why I spend a lot of time and effort compiling my watch list the way it is. A watch list should be very intentional. It shouldn't be just, well, I'm going to keep an eye on this stock. It needs to be intentional. You need to have a rhyme and a reason when you add stuff to a watch list, and that's what I use it for. Got a little green. Yeah, liquidity right now, the main liquidity is upwards, 52.30, which is 25 points up. That would put us right on top of the POC for the short dated charts here. And we bounced right off of the morning low. Perfect bounce off the morning low right here. Still holding it up. Can't break the morning low yet. Ah, that's why. Apple buys an AI startup called Darwin AI weeks after the company announced plans to develop a generative AI tool. That would explain that quick candle on Apple. You're welcome, Brandon. Let me know if you have any more questions. All right. I'm trying to build a plan for what happens. Like that, I want to use this time wisely. And when the markets are doing like this, I'm certainly not actively trading. So instead, what I want to do is spend time on the long-term charts, weekly charts, monthly charts, which, by the way, have you seen the weekly charts? It's even worse than the daily charts. Look at that. Look at those two weekly charts. Terrible. Have we even had two dojis in a row? Yeah, the last time we had even price action even remotely close to this, we mentioned this, is this right here. April and May of 2023. We had 2 months of this doji crap on the weekly. Just nasty. But this is even worse. This is even tighter. Perfect channel bounce. Nice. Trend markets are dead. Learn to trade CHOP or other tickers, in my opinion. Yeah. I just think we need to wait. Right now it's distribution. They're distributing shares. That's what happens when this crap does this. Let's see what some monthly charts look like here. This is the monthly chart. It's been October since we've seen a red month. A whole bunch of red, a little bit of red, less red here, just straight going. Right up there. All right. Steven, if you're listening, I just caught your message there. I stream every day from market open till roughly 11:30 Eastern, give or take, depending on the price action. If we have a more robust price action, I'll stay on longer, and then if it's terrible, I'll come off a little earlier. But normally every day, yeah, every day. It's good stuff. There's the 5-minute here coming off. So SPX is currently under the main target of 5150, which now we've got 5100 as the next target. So if we hold under it, the bulls are going to have a little bit of trouble into the afternoon. Not to mention we've kind of done a little bounce and fail price action now. And from a probability standpoint, if you're not familiar with my morning range system, actually Linda Raschke's morning range system, but the system I use to kind of figure out the plan for the afternoon is that if we put in a new low going into the afternoon, probability says that we're going to continue to, it's going to turn into a trend down afternoon. This was the morning low here. This was the morning high here. And we just put another low in. And we kind of did this like when you drop a bouncy ball, like it drops and then bounces and goes back down. That's what we've done. Fell, bounce, and then now it's going to go like this. A great short entry here, if this does turn into a trend down afternoon, would be on any kind of bounce, enter at the morning low. So if we come down to bounce again, this is where I would look to go short. Once it fails off of that, now you're confident that we can start using that prior resistance as support. Now you bring in Linda Raschke, which is a SR flip, support resistance flip. A prior support now used as resistance is a great short entry. Just like conversely, a prior resistance now used as support is a great long entry. But in this case, if it were to fail after a retest, that's a great place to go long, and then we'll see if we could turn into a trend down afternoon. But we are now below the morning low, going into the final 2.5 hours of the day. It's good stuff. My puts are now up 220%, and still going. Still going. In other news, I finally broke over 650 on my ELO rating in chess. I'm still a beginner. 5197. NASDAQ is coming down to the lows of the day. We should play on chess.com, but my username is a little sus. That's okay. My Xbox handle's a little sus. I feel you. Let me take all this out right here. We have another iceberg right here coming off 254, small iceberg. When the icebergs start to hit the tape, that's when I'll start to really even consider an additional position. I've watched most of your videos on market awareness, but a lot of my time but a lot of time my win rate sucks. I think my problem is not looking for stocks to be moving the same. Can you show some examples on your screen using levels and market awareness? It's hard to show market awareness. I guess I could compile it, a big list here, but market awareness is really time dependent. It's not like an indicator where you can quantify it. It's literally, if I am coming down to a particular level, like for example, the first half hour is the primary time when I use market awareness is the first half hour, because it's difficult to do any kind of VPA or analysis in the first half hour because it's just straight Momo. It's just the market's open, positions are written off, and boom, the market just moves in a very large way. So when I'm looking at the first half hour, it's primarily market awareness. And I see Apple dumping. If you look at Apple and Microsoft and Nvidia and all these names, and then of course all the big names in the S&P, if you start to see them selling off or buying up, that's when I want to be on the same side as the Momo. Like it's like if you're trying to jump on the train, you're going to run alongside the train and jump on. You're not going to run the opposite direction of the train and jump on. You're going to get smoked. So if I'm trying to jump on the train, I want to run, same direction. Let my legs kick around as fast as I can. I'm going to jump on. So that's the whole concept. Is how many names in the market that I track and the correlating index is moving the same direction I can get on. Now that's first half hour. Like right now, for example, if I see Apple rocketing, which they're starting to a little bit, if I see Apple putting on some monster green candles, and then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at Nvidia, because right now, Nvidia is the market. And Nvidia right now is kind of putting on a little bit of a wedge here. Not to mention, look, we just had a buy-side 893 large trader tracker on ES that just popped up. So if I start to see Nvidia start to break out of this little trend right here and recapture VWAP, which is there, as long as I've got the correlating, because look, we even have a VPA signal on the 5-minute for Nvidia. So if this does start to base and join what Apple's doing right now, then now it's a good time to start longing. Even if it's a speculative play, put on a little small speculative play and then build the position if you are correct. I don't mind putting on a small speculative long here to see if that Nvidia will break out into this VWAP with. And I mean, look, Microsoft is starting to do the same thing a little bit here. Now that's a big if, because this is one of the bearish days I've had in a while. But that's that type of stuff I'm looking at, and I monitor this on my top screen. My top screen is eight names. That way I can get a good litmus test of volatility, the bonds, XLF, the Russell, the Dow, NASDAQ, the NASDAQ names into all together. It's a beautiful tool because the best indicator out there is the market itself, especially if you're trading indexes. If you're trading individual names, market awareness might be less important, but if you're trading indexes, market awareness, the market itself is going to be your best indicator. Speaking of which, look, VPA signal bottom wick, volume. Now we need the follow-on. If this fails, that'll be a bearish signal. If it holds, could be a good opportunity for a speculative long. Oh, man. Does tick help with market awareness? I personally do not use tick, but there's a lot of people out there that I respect that do use tick. I know I don't like ticks in the summertime, but other than that, if that works for you, anything that helps you gauge the sentiment of the market, I'm all about. You're welcome. Do I still utilize EMAs? I haven't heard you for a while. Took a break, but recent swing low on NASDAQ retraced to Fib 382, which is normally one of our EMA readings I used to follow on trend. I use EMA sparingly. Normally only on trend days will I even turn on my EMAs. I do use VWAP every now and then, usually just in the morning time or if I'm looking for a change in direction. But still, my primary emphasis for entering or exiting is going to be price action and volume, VPA. Other than that, yeah. So on a trend day, trend up, trend down, the market loves to use EMAs as a good pattern. Again, keyword there is identifying a pattern. VWAP as well. So with this price action is null and void, yeah. EMAs in this price action is terrible because it's just gonna whipsaw around the EMAs the whole all day. It's just terrible. Do I use level T data for entries and exits? Yeah, I do. Let's go to the 15-minute bottom wick. Not nearly as strong an entry. So here's a good lesson in time frame continuity. If you're trading on the 15-minute, you're not getting a great VPX signal here. Yes, we do have a nice little hammer bottom wick forming with no volume though. So I would take a position here, but smaller position. 5-minute, I see a beautiful hammer with increased volume and a great follow-on here. So for a 5-minute, I would take a position here, speculative to see if we can get this thing upwards. And then if we build in volume, you can add to the position. The more time frame continuity I've got, the more confidence I have, the bigger position size I'm actually going to have. The smaller 5-minute, if I took an entry here, it wouldn't be that big of a position size because it's strictly 5-minute. I don't have a lot of time invested in the trade in terms of from analysis perspective. The EMAs are not that bad. There you go. Jeez Louise. Advice on a long-term put. I have a put for 430 and another for 325. I carry them since 1 and 2 weeks ago. Slightly green for April, 505 strike with a March 509 strike, slight red. Do you think it's worth hanging on to the March put? I do. I do think it's worth hanging on to the put. Now, obviously, that's your decision. It's your money, your risk. But I do think it's I do think it's a great idea to carry some risk. And again, think of it as a hedge fund. Think of it as a large corporation or a large investing fund. I'm not saying short this baby into the ground. I'm saying it's not a bad idea to leave on some small downside exposure for the next couple of weeks. I do think we're going to face it. Which is not a bad idea. Shouldn't you wait for the 15 minutes to close before determining it as low volume? Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Is like if you wanted to take a trade on the 5-minute, it would have to be small position size. That's what I was saying. And I wouldn't take a trade of any significant value until the 15-minute closes because there's no volume on it. You see the 15-minute has zero volume on this candle. And then, of course, if you want to be super conservative, you wait for the follow-on candle to close to take out this. If the follow-on candle can close and take out that candle right there, now we have a good probability of at least testing VWAP. But it's all about time frame continuity. Man, yeah, buddy. Hey, you're welcome. Would you agree that if you're trading individual names, the best indicator is a relative ETF? Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of reversed there because you're looking at an ETF for movement on an individual name, where it should be the other way around. For example, if you're a Tesla trader and you're looking at a green day for S&P, whereas Tesla's just getting hammered every day. So it's going to be difficult to kind of do that kind of stuff. Sorry, I got so many questions. No, it's good. That's what I like, man. Especially a day like today. Does it mean the price will reverse if price is rising, falling with low volume? Well, maybe, maybe not. And I don't really know that. All I know is that it's an anomaly. We talked about that today. Chapter 4 of Volume Price Analysis talks about anomalies. When you're trading anomalous price action, you've got to be patient. It is incumbent upon you as a responsible trader to be patient when you see anomalous price action. Right now, we've got bottom wicks, yes, on the 15-minute, but we have low volume. We've got 2 minutes left in this 15-minute candle, and volume is still void. You see right here, it's starting to come along. So when you see a large price action candle with very low volume or very small price action candle with very high volume, those are both signs of anomalies that you need to kind of perk up in your seat and figure out what's going on. You certainly don't want to chase a big price action candle with low volume because that's usually indicative of a liquidity grab. But in a move like this, you know, we've got now a 15-minute. I'm strictly talking in day trading scalping terms right now, but you can apply this to the daily chart as well. If you see a major hammer candle like this forming on the daily with volume, might be time to go long. Just like right now, we got this 15-minute candle closes in about 65, 70 seconds, and we'll know the representation of the buyers here. Now, if this thing hammers like this the way it is, with a good amount, we have a small increase in volume here. Now the follow-on candle is going to be your best friend. And look, we can also talk about cycles too. Notice we had green, 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 green. The second the 5-minute candle closes and now this one opens, immediate red. And that's just the cyclical nature of the algorithms. The algorithms are tailored to cycles. And when the 5-minute candle closes, the next one immediately turns red. Immediately. There was no green at all in this 5-minute candle. And that can save you. If you're coming up on the 5-minute closure, check the time before you take an entry to chase this. And now you've got the 5-minute candle that's immediately red. The cycles of the candles. One of our members posted a clip a week ago, 2 weeks ago, about hedge funds and how are they so successful. Literally one of the most successful hedge funds on Wall Street. And he gave like 5 or 6 rules on how to be successful at trading. Not one single rule of those had to do with any kind of analysis. None of it. Not technical analysis, not EMAs, not level 2, not order flow, not VPA, nothing. It was strictly about having a good memory to recognize patterns and understanding yourself as a trader. So if you can have a good memory and understand that the markets work on cycles and time that you can memorize and understand the patterns of the markets about liquidities and auction theory, you can save yourself a lot of trouble and be very patient. So this is yet again, this morning low area is a key level. Just like we were looking for a breakdown to test and then possibly short, now that we've recaptured, now we're looking at the possibility that if they hold above this, there could be a long entry because now you've got the retest. This is why you never want to take the initial breakout. Now they retest it. Now if this does support, now we're looking for a possible long. So yes, we're kind of back and forth. That's the nature of short-term trading. But as long as they hold above this level with a bottom wick on the 15-minute, now we can start to possibly long back up to VWAP or maybe, somewhere in this area. But if you want to take on the challenge of short-term trading and scalping, you've got to be fluid. You've got to look at every single possibility, if-and statements. If this happens, this happens. If this happens, this happens. This is where I'm going to set my stop, that kind of stuff. And now that's what we're doing. We came on down. Now we're using this as support. And now if this candle closes bullish, now you need to be considering the possibility of a speculative long on the 15-minute. Right here. Sometimes candle bounces right back up after breaking the support. How do you know that it will bounce after breaking support? I don't. That's why you're waiting for confirmation. But if you're looking over here to this morning low area, not to mention, by the way, we are glued right on top of this 5150 strike on the options chain. So it's right about here. So from here, if this first candle dropped back over, I'm watching this thing come back up. If it rejects this morning low, so if this were a top wick and come down, now you're looking to short this candle, especially when it takes out the prior low here. But the fact that this held this thing like this, bounced back up, now we're looking for the possibility where if this holds it, we can start to play higher. But yes, this is low volume. Yes, this is choppy. It's why I'm not actually executing any of this. I'm just talking through theory. So whenever we do have a good volume, you can play it. But you don't know. You don't know anything. It's just the fact that we have to apply what we see on the charts as it unrolls. Is that post pinned? I must have missed it. Oh, the YouTube channel? Yeah, it's in general chat. Look up Dan. He's in the general chat. What's up, Gino? How you doing, buddy? Another bottom wick right here. There's that launch on the 15 right there. There's our retest. So we had the bounce, we had the come up, the fall, and the bounce off of it. Right on that candle. Any charts anyone would take a look at? I don't know, someone call something out. Very slow. There goes the green. Do you pretty well need the top tier of Bookmap? It really depends on you. If you're trading just ES, not really. I trade a whole bunch of different things, a whole bunch of different indicators, so I utilize it. It's a great tool. I have Global Plus with the MBO package, which I do have a link though, by the way. If you, I have an affiliate link with Bookmap, so if you are signing up, you can use that link and get some money off your plan. There you go. There's my link. Could you look at LUV? There you go. NASDAQ is launching. Good stuff. I can. Do algos use the EMAs or just levels? I mean, honestly, nobody knows. Like, I don't know. But to me, they regulate price action patterns. Now, it's kind of the other way around. Like, our job is to try to attempt to monitor or identify the patterns of the computers of the buying cycles. And usually that plays out in trend lines. You want to know why trend lines work? It's because algorithms utilize cycles or patterns in their programming. It's not like, oh, we just hit the 200 simple moving average, it's time to reject. No, it's the other way around. They have a pattern, and we have an indicator that identifies that pattern. Now, they do exploit that too. It's crazy you can buy $100, 110-cent contracts and make $200 in a few seconds. 0DTEs blow my mind. Yeah, why do you think 0DTE volume surpassed all of the other volume? It's because of that right there. People like the quick, big money. Quick, big money. Coming back up. Going nicely green. So that right there was a great spot. This candle right here was great. If you weren't already in, this candle right here, because we have the 5-minute climb. This candle opened immediately, sold, and then we held the morning low. And then boom, off to the races. If we recapture VWAP, I think the VWAP would be a great place to at least scale out or begin to set a lot of stops right here. Right here. Yeah, a bunch of buy icebergs came in, and they're throwing on 52.35 here. So it looks like it's going to come up here. Where's SPX right now? 51. Good gosh. Sweet sassy molassie. Sweet sassy molassie. SPX is 51.48. Man, premiums are carrying a lot of premium right now. Contracts are. Boom, going. Blast off. Right there. And that is how you do price action trading right there. Waiting for that confirmation. Right there. I did jump into this one on NASDAQ after the fact right here. That Momo. Just started trading my first live account. The fills are way better on the challenges. Significant difference. Oh yeah, it's paper trading. Paper trading. I actually hate the fills on that. I hate the fills on that stuff. I get terrible fills on those stupid accounts. There we go. Climbing back up nicely. Looking on the 15-minute. Have a nice little follow-on candle. Nice and bullish. Nice and bullish. Well done, Trader J. He caught himself a call at the bottom. Awesome stuff. The book does look crazy bullish right now. So right now we had all these icebergs come on. Buy ice. We have I didn't have any large lot trackers come on, but now we have 52.35 coming on Dick. 52.30, 52.25. Good stuff. You get better fills when you're on a real account than a paper account. It's just slop. There's so much slop on the paper accounts from props that it's terrible. With real accounts, I know what I got. You know, the fills I get on real accounts is what I get. On paper accounts, like I'll execute an order and it's way different from what I intended to put on. Slippage, you know, that the slippage is terrible. It's because it's paper. It's simulated trades. That's of course it's going to happen. All right, going green here. Still going long, baby. Still going long. I don't have this problem on Top Step X. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I'm curious to try that out. Next time they do a deal on that Top Step X, I'll jump on it. Dun, 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 dun. Jump on it. Jump on it. Still going green. I'm going to ride this long up. Keep on going. Waited for the 15-minute to close and go it. So you chart on the 15 and enter on next on the 5-minute. I chart on the 5-minute as well. So I'm back and forth between the 5 and the 15. When I'm trading, I'm back and forth between the 5 and the 15. But this is the type of analysis right here I want to do. Right here. Because I do it on the 5, I confirm on the 15. When I see the confirmation on the longer time frames, I take a lot more confidence in that than the shorter time frames. Now, if this does recapture VWAP, then you're in reversal day. You're in reversal time frame. The morning high is way up here, so the morning high is going to be way out of reach until we start to break out of all this stuff. I know that's kind of John Madden-esque, but that's the reality of it. And now we're really starting to climb here. Now we're really starting to climb. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Yeah, there's big time liquidity up top. Massive liquidity. In fact, I would be willing to bet that transacts today. And that would put us at 52.35, which would be right under the morning high and just at POC, which is right here. This dotted line is POC. Beautiful trade if that were to take place. Have ever heard of Take Profit? They're doing a 50% off promo, but letting you reset a funded account if you blow it. Interesting. No, I think if If I were to venture out in anything else, it'd be Top Step. I really enjoy Top Step. Although their streams are terrible. Since it broke out of the channel, how do you switch your POV from the trends for exits? I'm not tracking the channel. I don't know. But if we are above the trend, then you use it as support. Like once they break that trend, break the pattern, you need confirmation that they're going to hold over that pattern. Otherwise, you're just having a little bit of slippage there, and then it's going to continue to go up. So I do see the trend. I'm not tracking it, but I'm seeing it here. I'll go ahead and plot it. Yeah, so now that we're above it, as long as we hold above it, I would expect that thing to at least capture VWAP. But price action is nice here. We have a little bit of increase in volume. So, yeah, let's see what happens. There's a phenomenal bullish flow on Bookmap, which is nice. We're coming into the afternoon session. And if the afternoon session plays out, we've got about 20 points of upside here for ES, $2 on SPY. Not to mention a butt ton of icebergs here. Look at that. Thousands of icebergs just got filled. And CVD cut in half. And we're off to the races. We're getting ready to smoke it. Smoke it. Unfortunately, though, it is now 1300, 1400 Eastern, and I do have to call it a day. I'm still long. I'm still going to hold this long. And, man, this is crazy. Hold on a second. I'm going to close out my put runners and just leave these long positions on. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. There we go. Put runners are closed, and I'm just only long. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I hope you learned something, a little bit about price action, and then, of course, Bookmap, how strong this of a tool this is. I posted my affiliate link if you want to sign up for it. It'll get you some money off of your plan, whichever you want to use. Let me know if you have any questions. Come out and hang out with us. I stream every day from market open until about 11:30 or so Eastern time. So appreciate you hanging out. I'll see you next Thursday, 1 p.m. for the Bookmap stream. I'm out. See you.